In video number 7 here, we're talking about the slip stitching and not wanting it to go up on a curve. So when we do stuff like this, the slip stitch line always travels up on an angle. This here is showing the right side every time that we do it. But in order to avoid that, if it bothers you that much, at the end of the round, you simply just turn around your project completely and then you start fresh. So I'm going to use example number 3 or lesson number 3, where it will not count as a stitch, and then I will put 2 double crochets in each. So by turning the project around like this, it will keep the slip stitch line from going up on an angle. Crochet naturally leans in one direction, which is the direction of your crochet hook. So if you're turning it back and forth like this at the end of every round, you're confusing the project, so it will not favor one side or the other. It's like when you're crocheting in rows, going back and forth, you don't see the lean so much as when you see it when you're doing circles. So if you're doing like a granny square and you notice that the center of the square is askew, so it's not square onto the border, that's because that happens. And the way to avoid that is just by turning the project around. So it confuses that, so it never starts favoring and doing a final twist. I'll be back at the end of this round. When you get back around, you are just going to go into your very last stitch. And remember that you do have a gapping space that does happen as a result of this, and it's right here. But what you just need to do is you need to slip stitch it to the top of the first one, and we'll pull everything in. But before you start the next round, turn it around now and start again. So I'm going to say chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Using the top one that I did join, I'm going to put my 2 double crochet in, and there just happens to be one into the next, and so on. So when I'm doing this, it's confusing that, so it never does a favoring of swaying direction. But what happens is it changes the look of the front. So instead of looking like this, it will look like this, so it looks more textured. And it's a great, simple way of getting texture with your work. And that's an easy way of doing that kind of idea.